Felicity Zadro, congratulations on your 15th anniversary. How does it feel?
Oh, thank you so much, Elle. Yes, 15 years. It feels like 15 years and it feels like 3 months all at the same time. It's been such a lot of life lived during that time, and obviously 2 big global crises in the middle there. But it feels really good. I'm very proud of what we've done and the team, and I think the impact that we've been able to make with a lot of our clients and community. So yeah, all in all, it feels really good. Thank you.
You and your team are experts in integrated marketing, all spectrums of it. And we've been through the pandemic, as you said earlier, and now over the past 6 months, it seems to be like a influx of opportunities and excitement, and we get to be face to face, the borders are all open, and then with the looming recession that is coming up, what are some of your observations when you're working with leaders when they are thinking about how to, I guess, leverage your talent to amplify what they do?
Yeah, there's so much going on, and it feels like we're in a multi-speed situation. So, in some industries we are just powering ahead, and really people are finding very clever ways of leveraging the opportunities at the moment. And then we're going ahead, and then we come up against new hurdles, and we're seeing that obviously in a number of industries, travel and tourism being one of them. So I think for leaders at the point in time, they need to be really thinking about their people. I think we've all been through a collective trauma. The emotional lag of that is still very much alive. And we've also gone through a period of time which has completely transformed workplace relations and expectations. And so, especially here in Australia, where we have such a workforce crunch, like most places, how people are looking to their greatest asset, their people and their internal culture and their communication, I think is really important. It says a lot about a company going forward if it can really establish true and practical and really useful and positive culture. So I think that that's certainly where I would be starting, and then looking for new and different opportunities, changes in consumer behaviour, changes in movement of people, changes in expectation of things like flexibility and life choices that people are making, and how that impacts on the design of your products and services. So I think from those macro levels, that's really important. But I'm also seeing, a really big bounce back, especially in the business events industry. But we're really struggling with that depth of expertise, as a lot of people did leave the space as well. So I think there's lots of really great things going on. There's a few big challenges still to overcome, but I think those challenges are going to be just part of life going forward as well. So I think leaders need to think into the future, they need to think tomorrow, they need to think next quarter, but they need to do it really in a way that takes their people with them.
How has COVID changed the way we market ourselves, or even companies market themselves, when it comes to tone of voice, when it comes to best results, new channels, multi-channels? What are some of the things that worked for the past few months, what hasn't, and what we need to consider for the future?
Yeah, look, I think there's so many different changes. We saw during those massive lockdowns, big changes in how companies like the restaurant industry, for example, marketed themselves, and a lot of in-house opportunities and in-house dining, etc. Now we're moving into a new period of time where people want to get out of the house and socialise, and so marketing services and products to sort of match that is really important. But I think also it's about the authenticity. I think one of the things that has really impacted is corporate communication being less formal, less kind of what I would call like the business to business side of things, and more what I like to call the people to people side of things. The authenticity of brand has been really important. And I also think that the rise of the emphasis on environmental, social and governance issues it just can't be understated. We've really come out of the COVID period with a big awareness, a much more bigger awareness about the environment and about social issues and who are we taking with us. And I think during COVID we saw just how much the pandemic impacted different sectors of our society, whether that be workers or women being left out of the workforce, etc. People, losing their homes. In Australia, we've had the floods, we've had the fires. So this sort of growing sense of social consciousness, I think, is really impactful. And businesses are part of community, they are part of society, and they need to play a role in the leadership of those issues as well. So I think all that it's complex, it's multi-layered, but it's definitely something that companies need to be thinking about.
Earlier you mentioned about, obviously for the business events industry all over the world, we've lost a layer of talent. We're in a talent crunch situation. Are those some of your inspiration for what you've created now, which is a new offering called Zadro University? Tell us a little bit more about the inspiration, what inspired you, and what is that product all about?
Yeah, so Zadro University, we've had it for a little while, but we always did it face to face. It really came from two most important inspirational things for me. One was, as an integrated communications and marketing agency, I employ marketers and teach them communications and PR, and I employ PR people and teach them marketing. So because we're doing both, we have a large skill set, but also it takes a lot of time to build up that expertise. So I thought, rather than doing this over and over and again, why don't we write down some of this stuff a bit more? And then we ended up with all this fabulous content, and then we involved our client base into that. The other point of contention for me is that over the last 5-10 years particularly, and absolutely over the lifetime that I've had Zadro, we've had such a revolution in marketing, and digital and social has exploded, as we all know. But really, we didn't really have it as much as we do today, even 12 years ago. So what's happened is the pressures on MarComs people have been blown out of all proportion. A marketing person, I was looking at an ad today, they're expected to have photography, videography, web skills, HTML skills, how to write, understand the media, do social change projects, cultural stuff, internal communications. I mean, they are all separate professions. And my thing was, I work with a lot of people who are sitting in a room or in a company full of other professionals, and they might be the only or one of two MarComs people. So they've got 99 to 1,000 other versions of what they should be doing. And often they're young women. And so I really wanted to make part of what I do about empowering these people to have the language to be able to advocate for themselves and say, look, I know that this is important to the business, but my profession is this is something else. But in order to get there, you also need to understand a little bit about all those different things. So Zadro University came from a desire to empower the MarComs professions who really haven't been great at demonstrating their benefit through metrics. So to really help that side. It came from working across marketing and communications. And ultimately it comes from Zadro's mission, which is to go and help other companies connect with their community. And for me, the only way you can do that is through good comms. So it became like a natural extension of our mission and our values. And so what we've done since then is we've gone and we've edited everything, we've rewritten things, we've created a whole series of content and training, and we're launching our new website, Zadro University. So we have safaris, which are our high quality courses with workbooks, excursions, which are short, sharp, skill-based things like how to write an award submission or things like that. A bunch of freebies, so tips sheets and cheat sheets and all the templates that everybody needs, as well as tailored safaris where we take a safari and apply it specifically to an industry. So yeah, we're really excited about it. The team has literally built another business together. It's been an amazingly empowering and bonding experience, and we've all had a hand in it, and we're really excited to launch it to the world.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And can I ask, looking into the future, and obviously we have talent out there either wanting to go into a new industry, or those who are still in university coming out, perhaps wanting to consider a career in marketing communication. What advice would you have for people who want to look at marketing communications as a career?
Look, first of all, it's a fabulous career. I have my head under the bonnet of, so many companies. 15 years, we've worked with 470 firms. It's interesting. And it's also ever-changing, so it's dynamic. But I think where I would caution MarComs people is to not just think about what they're doing for their own job, but to really try and think as a business owner, or as very strategically. Think about what are you doing and how does it link into your organisational goals. And if you can't make that link, it's not worth doing until you can. Don't do things for the sake of it, to make things look good or rebrand for the hell of it. Really understand what you're doing and see your marketing communications as the toolbox that it is to achieve company or organisational goals. If you can offer that to boards, your managers, your executive, to owners, you will position yourself as a highly valuable person to work with. And you'll also, and this is what I hope all MarComs people do, is uplift the reputation of our profession as well. And my vision for our profession is to see CMOs at the boardroom table. I think businesses going into this time of world, and with all our ESG and all these type of issues, this is about reputation, it's about client relationships, it's about stakeholder dialogue, and these are my tools as a comms person. So these things should be reflected at that level, and we need all of our profession to be able to reach that aspiration.
Here. I agree with you, and once again, congratulations on your anniversary and on Zora University.
Thank you so much.